Turning now to a big development in the nation's international relations. With recent news, Australia will host a Quad meeting of foreign ministers in Melbourne. Counterparts from India and Japan will join their US and Australian counterparts in the two-day summit, which will also discuss the crisis in Ukraine and threats to regional security. For analysis, let's go live to Mark Watson. He's the new Washington Director for the Australian Security and Policy Institute. Mark, thanks for your time. Let's start with the importance of the Quad. Why is this meeting of foreign ministers crucial at this particular time?
Kieran, this is a story that we've been following on your program, I know, for probably around 18 months. And we've watched this grouping, this quadrilateral security dialogue grow in importance week by week, month by month. It started off just as I think you'd say, a nice to have diplomatic arrangement. But as time has gone by, more and more meat has been put on the bones of this arrangement. So the significance right now is it confirms, again, US support for this support for allies like Australia, but also working through multilateral groupings like the Quad. And it means that Australia is now at the centre of an interlocking geometry of bilateral, trilateral and quadrilateral arrangements. And all of those things, while not designed to in any way contain China's legitimate ambitions, it is about sending a message to China that if you're going to bully a country like Australia, if you're going to undertake economic coercion and other forms of coercion, you run a risk. You're not operating against Australia alone. You're operating against a country that is, as I say, at the centre of a set of interlocking security and defence arrangements.
So as you look forward now, how important is the Quad within our other arrangements that we have? We just heard the dramas out of London, but we know that the AUKUS arrangement is an important one, ongoing in a defence sense. You've got the US alliance. This Quad setup, where do you see it?
Well, it reinforces the fact that Australia sits as the hinge on the Indo-Pacific. You know, this concept of an Indo-Pacific area of strategic significance has grown in strength in the last decade. And the mere geography of Australia, with one coast facing the Indian Ocean looking towards India, the other coast looking across the Pacific towards America, and of course looking through a northern axis straight up to Japan. And Australia's really now sitting at the middle of this Indo-Pacific concept and this Indo-Pacific construct. And it means that Australia, apart from the Quad, of course, we've got the AUKUS arrangement now with the UK and the US. We've got the existing Five Eyes intelligence sharing arrangements with Canada, New Zealand, US, UK. We have bilateral arrangements with Japan, including a recently signed enhanced access agreement, meaning that we will see more Japanese troops training with Australians and vice versa. All these arrangements will mean, for example, more US troops in Northern Australia. You'll see, I think, a greater deployment of US materiel. I think you'll also see more US ships, more US aircraft, more British ships in our part of the world. And again, it's sending a message to China. You cannot just go about your business as if you can pick off countries one by one and continue to get your way. There's a risk and there's a potential price.